term, Prime Minister for 2 terms, Prime Minister for 3 terms, Dr. Andrew Holness.
We're doing good for you. Singing to the people hours, ringing in the showers, the blessing we have now done. Political jam down, exercise the bell loud. We're doing more for you.
You like it, neighbor, right? So, neighbor, right? Blessings upon you and your family, and may your household and your personal welfare and prosperity increase unboundedly. May God continue to guard us, keep us, and guide us. We do nothing without His grace, without His anointment. And so I stand here purely by the grace of God. You know, there is a song by a famous rapper, and the song says, many men who step above me, none of you know it. I can't force my voice tonight, so you know this, so I'm just very calm. But no weapon people wonder why is it that I don't respond with all the lies and the darts that they throw at me. I don't respond because, you know, one of my favorite characters in terms of their life story is Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. And you know, Muhammad Ali, he had a style called the rope-a-dope. You know? So the boxers were tackling him. They just threw a punch at him, and he would just... And then eventually, the devastating blow from him.
Knock them out.
Knock them out.
Yes.
So don't worry.
That's what I'm going to do.
The 3rd of September is coming. Now, let me commend you and this lovely crowd that is here. This is purely a St. Thomas crowd. And this is a quite sizable meeting. I mean, I hear that there is something going on somewhere else, but you know, this looks like it could compete. Yes. So, I have a few things that I would like to say to you tonight. The first thing is that in 2015, almost 10 years ago, I toured your parish in a program called Prosperity Live. And I believe it was at the Anglican Church. Right up, yes, you remember. As a young lady said in that meeting, Prime Minister, it is as if my parish is forgotten. The PNP have had this constituency for decades. The road, water, housing, terrible conditions, unemployment high. And I left here with something riveted in my mind. She said, St. Thomas don't even have a stoplight. But the one that stuck with me, and I'm not making any promotion for anybody. But she said, St. Thomas don't even have a KFC. And you're sitting right here in the crowd. In other words, what she was saying is that the typical signs of development were not in this parish. Now, historically, St. Thomas was punished because of where we are standing now, the rebellion. And so when the colonial government took over, they started to develop other parishes but neglected here. So St. Thomas was always behind. And I took that into consideration and I decided that at the first opportunity we must rectify that. We need to ensure that St. Thomas is developed. In fact, we must ensure that every parish has a certain level of development, that all its residents can feel comfortable and enjoy a quality of life that they deserve. The question, my friends, is how to do it without running into debt. That has been the problem that no government of Jamaica has been able to solve until the Andrew Holness-led government of Jamaica. I'm now not only speaking to the residents here in Paul Bogle Square, I'm speaking to the wider Jamaica for your consideration. For the last 50 years, we have been financing our development by debt, borrowing. That has created a big problem. It has made us vulnerable, exposed to changes in the global economy. And worse, if you borrow money and you don't use it well, then it makes the problem much worse. Because if you were expecting to get money from what you invest in and you don't get it, then you don't have the revenues to pay back the money that you borrow. And that, in simple terms, has been the problem of Jamaica. Since this government, what has happened? I want you to listen carefully. We took over the debt at somewhere around 130% of GDP. Now GDP sounds like a big thing, but bear in mind, all GDP is what you produce, is what you produce, is what you over there to produce, is what the vendor produce, what the bank teller produce, what the teacher produce, what the policeman produce. You put all of that together and you say that is a gross product of Jamaica. If you take everything that everybody in Jamaica produce, what we owe is 30% larger than what we produce when we took it over. So if Jamaica decided in 1 year it's going to pay back its debt, after it pay back the debt, it would still owe 30%. Today, 10 years since, if we decided to pay back our debt today, we would pay off the debt and still have about 38% left for ourselves. Because the economy changed. The economy changed. As a result of that, when we took over the economy, the country, the society, 10 years ago, unemployment was somewhere in the region of 13%. Meaning 13 in 100 persons who are looking for a job couldn't find a job. You know what the unemployment rate is today? It is now 3.3%. Only 3 persons in every 100 that is looking for a job can find a job. It is a different Jamaica today than what it was before. It is a better Jamaica today than what it was before. I'll give you one more statistic about how Jamaica is doing. We have cut the murder rate by almost half. When we took over, the murder rate in Jamaica was somewhere in the region of about 49 per 100,000. Meaning 49 persons were murdered in every 100,000 population in Jamaica. Today, you are somewhere, if you annualize it, to about between 25 and 20 per 100,000. Murder rate cut in half. This is a better Jamaica today than it was then. We have done a lot more things, you see, and which is why we have produced this book, and I see a lot of you have it here. And I tell you about this book. We have given out over 50,000 of this booklet. So I'm corrected by the Deputy General Secretary. We have given out over 100,000 of these booklets. And I can tell you when something is valuable, I have never seen one thrown away as I move around. People fold it up, they put it in their pocket, they carry it, it's a keepsake. It's the first time that any government can document its achievements. And these are not fairy tales. These are not speculative. This is what we have done. Now, we have done all of this, spent $9 billion on our security forces, and you know what? $90 billion, forgive me, on our security forces over the last decade. And we have not increased borrowing. We have done something called the reverse tax credit, where if you earn less than a certain sum of money, the government gives you back $20,000. We have announced, and which has started the Solidarity Program. And we have been giving back all kinds of things to the public. And we have not increased borrowing. Now, today, as I walk a community, a teacher, a young man, you have to be so, you have your phone up recording. So he came and he greeted me, shook my hand, had his phone up, and he said, "Prime Minister, I'm a teacher." And you know, when I hear teacher, you know, my eyes light up because I was a teacher. I was Minister of Education. I know the value of teachers, I know the value of education. And he said, "Prime Minister, you have to do something about the wage offer." And he had his phone up. Big to catch me in an unguarded moment. But you know my mouth don't slip. You know that you'll never get me at the mic and then I go. You'll never have that. My brain is always engaged. Sometimes people look at me and they say, "Where are you, Prime Minister?" I'm deep in thought. Because, yes, people like gimmicks and they like to smile, but my job on your behalf is to think on things deeply. The first solution, the most popular solution, the thing that seems like common sense, is not always the best solution. What you will get from me, even at election, is the best solution. The challenge that we have faced as a country, why our debt went out of control. Yes, poor management. Yes, foreign exchange devaluation. Yes, external things over which we have no control. But a large part of it is that governments could not reason with their population to explain
Thank you for the
the decisions that they have to make.
Thank you.
And therefore, they make decisions on the basis that they are trying to please the voting population, but end up harming them. I'm going to make a point to you today, and I'm not just making it here to the crowd, I'm making it to the Jamaican people. And I made sure to look it up. Don't want to make any errors. But Jamaica has had wage freezes. You know what a wage freeze is? A wage freeze is when the government of the day decides that it is not able to make any increases to public sector wages. And it explains that to the unions and says we can't do it. And they're trying to get the unions to agree. We have had wage freezes in 1976, in 1977, in 1978, in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14, and 15. Mostly under the PNP. And you know when the wage freezes have occurred? The wage freezes have occurred largely after the government has given a wage increase. I want all Jamaicans to just go and research it and think on it carefully. Now, the challenge of any government is how to increase the wage bill without at the same time increase borrowing or create a fiscal deficit, a gap between what you earn and what you have to spend. The only government so far that has been able to crack that code is the Jamaica Labour Party government administered by Andrew Holness. And we were able to do it going through the most comprehensive and the largest ever increase in public sector wages. It comes up to about $6 billion over about 4 years. The largest increase that public sector workers have ever got. That's the global picture. Now, I am the first to admit that it was not perfect. That there are still anomalies that must be resolved. And our process of resolving anomalies is through a well-established system of negotiation. Currently, the government is going through a process of negotiation. And I just want to say here that I, Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica,
Yes.
I respect every public sector worker, and I want to see you get the best pay that you can get. I want you to listen to me good. I want you to listen to me very carefully.
Come on, say listen.
My mother worked in the civil service for over 30 odd years. She worked in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security dealing with NIS. And even now, she's so committed that people still going to her to ask her to help with their NIS issues because she became so good at it. But she lived and took care of me and my sister on a public sector worker salary, which was very small. At the time of my graduation, I asked her to buy me a Clark's shoes. And she said to me, Andrew, I don't have the money to do that. Wear the shoes that you wear throughout the year. Go to your graduation, you will be in a gown, nobody will see it. So you understand why they always have my class. So you have to understand who you're dealing with.
1 p.m.
You have to understand my life experience. People say, why you don't tell your story? I don't wear, in other words, where I come from and my experiences should not entitle me to leadership of the country. What should entitle me to leadership of the country is my performance. But in today's world, where people are trying to say to you, don't judge me on my performance. Judge me on my promise and rhetoric and gimmicks. Then I probably have to put who I am and why I make certain decisions.
Yes.
Now, I could play the game of the opposition and say to all the teachers and the public sector workers, yeah man, I'm going to give you the world, as previous politicians have done, and then turn around and stick you with a wage freeze.
Nah, do that.
This country made a huge sacrifice 10 years ago to break from fiscal recklessness. And it hurts my heart to see the PNP try to reintroduce fiscal recklessness through its various promises which do not make any sense. All it is going to do is make you feel good and jump up. And then when the reality strikes, the reality may not be because of any bad management, you know. The reality may strike because of external factors. And when you spend all the money and you don't have what is called the buffers, the reserves that you put aside for the difficult times, then the people feel it.
That's left or right.
So think of it. How have we been able to increase the wage bill massively and still bring down the debt? Good government.
Good government.
Good government. A politician who I invited to speak at my conference from one of our sister islands, I'll never forget it. He said that you have to be careful. You have to be careful that what you have worked so hard, you all have sacrificed so hard to get to this point where our economy is doing well. That all it takes is one careless person to come and kick over the bucket. One careless person. All it takes for what you have built up using teaspoon to build up your savings. One careless man come with a shovel and take it away and waste it. So I said to all Jamaicans, we are in a good place.
Yes.
Don't let election promises disturb that. You will pay for it after election.
Top, left, right, and center.
But let me go further to say that our teachers and nurses and all our public sector workers, it is my intention, not just my wish, to see that you can be guaranteed increases in your pay without compromising the economy. I will say that every government, including my government, must negotiate with respect. We must negotiate transparently and with respect. We must engage our partners, the unions, with respect. And so while I hear the issue regarding the offer, I also hear the issue regarding timely response and respectful negotiation. And I make my commitment to you here tonight that we will ensure that you have timely and respectful negotiations, and that there is a credible and reasonable offer that will not damage you in the future. I ask all Jamaicans, who every sector is now looking for more. What a difference. 10 years ago, at this time the government was telling you can't get any wage increase. And everybody had to accept it. What a difference. Let us not kick over the bucket or shovel out our savings. Let us be cautious, let us be careful, let us be smart as a people about where we are and what we have accomplished. Together, we will have a partnership for prosperity where every Jamaican will be able to fulfill and realize their dreams and aspirations. If every public sector worker looks on, they must conclude that their situation would have improved. It may not have improved as they would like or relative to another group. And that is a legitimate cause for negotiations for improvement. But let us not argue as if this administration has done nothing. Because that is not true. Not true, absolutely not true. I want to move from that subject. And I want to talk to you now deep poll, very detailed, and the sample size is very large. The poll revealed what the critical issues are that government should address. And you know, it's always a puzzle to me when we see what certain media may carry as a matter of high importance, or certain commentators may carry as high importance. But what we have picked up, which is universal to every Jamaican, are two things. People are concerned about roads and water. Those are the two critical things that every Jamaican has a concern about. Roads and water. 10 years ago, when you look at all the surveys, what Jamaicans were concerned about? The top 5. Crime, unemployment, poverty. That are top of mind for you. There is no doubt that we have done an amazing job on building out the highway network. Why is it that we need to do the highway network? The highway network gives you the fastest economic return. Think of it this way. If there is a highway that's efficient between Manchester and Kingston, and there are jobs in Kingston where people in Manchester could fill, then having a highway brings employers from Manchester to Kingston quickly. This is an economic benefit. If you don't have it, then the person who is looking for a job will say, boy, Kingston too far, bus fare too high, the inconvenience. So highways help economic activity, increase revenues for the government, which we then take to fix the roads that lead from your house to the highway. Right here in your parish, we are fixing the main spine through the parish. Not just that, we have put in place now a bus route. So people from St. Thomas have greater convenience to get to Kingston. But the reverse is also now, where if you choose, you don't have to leave your parish to be employed. You can be employed right here in the next 10 years, St. Thomas is going to be a totally different place. And you are going to start to feel it. You're going to feel it. And you are already feeling it. And I can tell why you are going to already feel it. Your children. Many of you are now trying to send your children to the best primary level education. I looked at the statistics here, and St. Thomas has quite a number of private primary schools. I found it a curious thing. And your schools have improved in their performance. The next generation of people who live in St. Thomas, born here and grew up here, their outlook is going to be different. Their prospects are going to be different. But for the people who are here now, like the gentleman who stopped me last year and said to me he didn't have water for a week just before back to school, because he would normally take water from the stream, but there's a mining operation above him which muddies the water and he couldn't use it. These are simple issues that local government and the Ministry of Mining and Agriculture must deal with. These are issues that affect you, but sometimes they go under the radar of government authority. In our next administration, in the same way that we have launched a program called SPAR, where we have allocated over $45 billion for roads, we're going to launch a similar program for rural water supply. We are going to set ourselves the target that within 5 years, every community that is surveyed as feasible will have potable water to their homes. You will be able to build your ensuite bathroom, go in it, turn on the pipe and say, shower, shower. The reason why it was not done before is because before this administration, almost every year, the NWC operated at a loss. The NWC became a burden on the government. It is only under this administration that the NWC has operated profitably or at break-even, meaning it has not been a fiscal risk to the government of Jamaica. We have transformed the NWC. We are going to go one step further with the Rural Water Supply Company and the NWC with a special allocation to ensure that all of your communities have a water supply system once your community is deemed feasible. And what does that mean? You have a little small community with 5 persons living way up in on top of a hill somewhere. It's not feasible to carry the water there. There might be other solutions for that. But for this, for the established communities, even the ones that are informally settled, we will pair the settlement of your community with the delivery of the water. Ultimately, the next 5 years should see a formalization of communities in Jamaica with proper land titling, proper roads, proper water, and proper ownership. Here in St. Thomas and in other parishes which we will announce this program. You get your urban center, you're getting your jobs, you can be assured of a better future for your children. But the inconveniences you now face, with bad roads mashing up your cars, and no water, those will be the focus of my next administration. When I stand here 5 years from now, I will be able to say, we cut the debt, we cut crime, we cut inflation, we cut taxes, we cut poverty, and then I will say no, we cut bad road, we cut lack of water, and we cut bad mind.
I hope you pay keen attention to what our Prime Minister said. No promises. A commitment to the people of Jamaica. And we want to remain in safe hands. Let me thank you for coming. Monday is not